Move on. We're going to be talking quarterbacks again.
Oh.
And this one's a good one. This is I wouldn't say it's a common debate, but it will be when all players that I mentioned right now are retired and done.
Eligible.
All three are Hall of Fame eligible and maybe even probable. I'll leave that up to you guys in a sec. We're talking about the historic 2004 draft class, okay? Eli Manning went first overall. He got flipped to the Chargers.
Fuck him.
Phillip Rivers at 4. Yeah, I fucking can't stand him. But Phillip Rivers went 4th overall. You know the infamous trade. The Giants traded Eli to the the Chargers traded Eli to the Giants for Rivers and 2 picks that wound up being Sean Merriman and Nate Keating. So that was like, wow. I mean, the trade. It seems to work out for both of them, I guess, in the long run. And then you had Big Ben, who went 11th overall. You want me to give you the resumes?
Please.
Stat resume?
Yeah.
I mean, Eli had the 2 rings, 2 of the most impressive we've ever seen. I hate even admitting it.
Luck, not impressive.
Eli's career numbers right here. 57,023 passing yards with 366 touchdowns, 244 interceptions. That's in 234 starts. He was an Iron Man. He started, I mean, he had that long ass streak. Completion percentage was around 60%. That's kind of
And that streak was broken real fast because they benched him for Geno Smith, which is like one of the most classless things an organization can do. You were already trash when you did that. Why you would break that streak is just that was so bad. I hated when they.
It was a bad look.
There was no need to do that. What that dude with the hair? I can't think of his name. Who was that? Ben McAdoo.
Oh my God.
It was him, wasn't it?
Goofy motherfucker.
He was the head coach.
He sucked too. Like, who are you to make that call, bro?
Yeah, I agree, Mike. But moving on to Rivers. Okay, I'm going to give you his stats now. He had 63,440 yards passing, 421 touchdowns, 209 interceptions. Completion percentage was just about 65. No Super Bowls. He was on some very impressive teams over time. They didn't get real far. They had a couple of disappointing runs. It's a shame he tore his ACL in the playoffs that one year because that looked like the year. You know, that was the big time year.
Yeah.
They were stacked everywhere. Yeah. LT was running wild. It just didn't happen. It didn't work out. But very good.
But that wasn't 07.
That was 06 when they went 14-2. 07 they had a good year too.
Well, that's when they made the AFC Championship game, and I know that.
Yeah, I guess it was
the
07 playoff year. I guess.
Yeah.
It was 07 by the time we had playoffs.
That was the undefeated season, wasn't it?
Yeah, they played against the Patriots
Yeah.
in the AFC Championship game.
And Rivers wasn't even like, I mean, it was his first year as a starter. So, yeah, that was the year, I believe. But either way, they had a 13-3 team. They had a lot of missed opportunities, and he had an impressive performance with the Colts this year. They made some noise. They fell short, but anyway, Big Ben's resume. Big Ben, 60,348 passing yards, 396 touchdowns, 201 interceptions, completion percentage around 64, and still going. Albeit, you know, he's definitely a little more ineffective than in the past. Their offensive line is still trash. He's got a lot of weapons, so who knows how much time he's going to have to get the ball to them. 2 rings. So, guys, who you got? Like, who is the best of the 3 in your opinion? And I then want to know, my follow-up question is, are they getting in the Hall of Fame? You break down each one individually. And you don't have to go long and drawn out. I'm just curious, though, because everybody talks about this draft class.
I'll take the wheel.
Go ahead,
that
Nick.
bitch go
ahead.
first.
I think Big Ben is a surefire Hall of Famer.
No cap.
Just the impact that he had on the Steelers. His rookie year was incredible, going 15-1. To me, just Big Ben's longevity, you know, and he always had the Steelers in the playoffs. They were always contenders. He has 2 rings. So you can't take that away from him. And his stats are the best out of all of them. So he's definitely the Hall of Fame for me. Phillip Rivers, that's debatable, but I definitely have him in my Hall of Fame. I'm a Rivers guy. He's my second favorite quarterback of all time. I mean, what he did in the AFC Championship game with a torn ACL against probably arguably the best team ever in the 07 Patriots, that gets my respect. Like as a leader, I think a lot of people, you know, his
I'll give you that. He's an awesome leader. I love the way he
would rally
plays.
around them, right?
100%.
Like, so for me, like I appreciate that about his game, how fiery he is, and he's just a great player. So for me, I would put Phillip Rivers in the Hall of Fame. Eli Manning can go fuck himself, so he's not in my Hall of Fame. He has 2 great runs, but he was never really regarded as a top 5 quarterback in the league ever. So for me, if Hall of Famer, you got to be in that top 5 discussion.
Bro, not for nothing. It would probably be hard to argue him around like top 10.
Well,
for real,
maybe.
bro. He's like, I'll save it. Go ahead. Finish. Go ahead.
So for me, like Eli, even in those Super Bowls, he didn't have crazy stats. He just had lucky fucking plays.
2.
Yeah. The helmet catch with Tyree, where he basically closed his fucking eyes and just threw the ball in the air. And
I don't know how he escaped the sack there.
I don't know how he
but
caught it. Like, yeah, I mean,
I thought he
too.
was going to be on the ground.
I think
right.
escaping the sack was better.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
probably better than the catch, to be honest.
Yeah, and then the Mario Manningham play was just like
Probably one of the
couldn't have a
best
better
throws.
throw.
One of the best throws I've ever seen in
Yeah.
a game, for real.
in Super Bowl history.
It has
So,
to be.
For me, like just having those 2 runs they're Hall of Fame worthy. But if I'm looking at the body of work throughout his entire career, he was never a threat. Like, I didn't look at the Giants and be like, oh shit, they have Eli Manning. Like, fuck, we're screwed.
I would look at him and be like, yo, awesome, they got Eli.
Yeah.
I
but,
was
like,
looking forward to that every time the Eagles faced him. I'm
Yeah.
like, the Eagles have his number. They're going to win. And you saw, I mean, the Eagles' success against the Giants with Eli at the helm, it was spectacular.
yeah.
I look forward to that week. You kidding me?
Yeah. And Phillip Rivers was like,
He's known to turn
he
the
was
ball
a,
over.
He was a threat, right? Like him and Gates,
Unquestionably.
him and Gates' connection was like the best, like one of the best of all time. So like their run was great. He just doesn't have a Super Bowl. That's what kills him.
It's a shame.
And that's probably why he went to the Colts, because he probably saw an opportunity where he can actually win one by just being, at the tail end of his career, where he doesn't have to put up crazy stats to win, because they were just a solid built team.
And he had a good season.
He
too.
did, he had a great
Statistically,
season.
good
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I
Not
mean,
great,
yeah.
but good. Really good.
8th ranked offense.
Yeah, exactly. So I would put Rivers Hall of Fame, Big Ben Hall of Fame, and Eli can go fuck himself, like I said. So yeah,
Do you think he's going to get in, though? Like,
Is he going to get in? Probably, because he's in the New York media area. Like the New York area is just, they're just strong over there. So for me, like I think the New York culture is gonna automatically put Eli in there. I think the discussions are gonna be ramping up because of that. So it's just a market, New York market. I think it's really hard to match. So I think Eli will get in.
Mike, your take?
Not first ballot though. I will make myself clear. He's not getting a first ballot.
He better not.
So I think Ben Roethlisberger is the best of the 3. He holds like 40 NFL records or some crazy thing like that. Like, I think obviously Ben's overall body of work is just superior to both of them. So I would definitely take Ben, and I like Ben as a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He had a couple bumps with the rape case and shit like that. So that may affect him getting into first or second ballot.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it's clear, to be honest. I don't really think that's up for debate. Phillip Rivers, to me, is not a Hall of Famer. He just didn't do enough in the postseason. He's 3-4 in the postseason, I believe. He made one AFC Championship game. You just said it. LT, Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates is up for the Hall of Fame in 2023. Don't quote me on that. I believe, or 2000. I think it's 2023. But to me, Phillip Rivers just didn't do enough. Like, he has records and stuff, yeah, but it didn't equate to shit. I mean, it didn't, though. And I'm not saying that, like, that's not a personal attack. It's really the truth. He didn't do shit.
Did Dan Marino do shit?
He at least got to the bowl.
Yeah,
He got there. Like, he never got there.
But is that worth really like a Hall
Yeah,
of Fame
like,
nod?
he
If you get
got
to the
there.
Super Bowl and lose, is that like a nod? I mean, Dan Marino's
Well,
his stats
all right, so
are ridiculous.
he started in, all right, so 2007, Phillip Rivers comes into the game. He retires in 2021. In that span, in 2007, so in 14 years, he went to 7 playoff games. Not good enough, dude. That's not Hall of Fame worthy. It's not good enough. It's just not. And you have a losing record. Like I said, the AFC Championship game in 07 when he played on the torn ACL, that's awesome, bro. I salute you. You're a gamer. That's why so many people love him. That's leadership. But he's not a Hall of Famer. Cut that there. Eli Manning is like the weirdest quarterback in the world to try and judge. He's a 500 quarterback overall record, 116 and 116.
I was going to reference that.
Yeah. He has 2 good Super Bowl runs and mediocrity everywhere else. As we were saying before, I don't know if he was ever a top 10 quarterback. I really don't. If somebody said right now, go back and look, I can't go right off the top, but if I'm just thinking of his entire career, I don't think he was ever a top 10 quarterback in the NFL where you actually got fear when he was coming into your building.
Right.
Like I said, he won 2 Super Bowls. I actually think there's a chance for him to get in on the first ballot because of narrative. And I think he's a really nice guy, and that's going to play into his favor. Brother of Peyton, 2 Super Bowl rings. He won the only 2 Super Bowls that he got to. But and that also goes to my Phillip Rivers thing. Like Eli Manning, he won 2 of them, so I can't it's hard to say it's luck twice. But it's like he actually did get there, and he just happened to beat the best quarterback ever. So Eli Manning, I think he's getting in the Hall of Fame. I would say fuck no. Like emphatically no, I would say, because I don't.
No.
Yeah, I don't. There's just no way for me. Like it's Eli Manning, dude. He did nothing special.
Yeah.
And especially like the back end of his career. Like I feel like he had a back end of his career through all of his career. But it's like after like 2000, I don't know, like 2015, 16, like he was just garbage. Like it was like you looked forward to playing him and he was holding them back. I mean, he's playing with Odell Beckham and things like that. And he couldn't. No, he's just not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
I don't need to rant anymore. He's not a Hall of Famer. He's not. I don't care. And he's going to get in, and he doesn't deserve it.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of hurt that you said Phillip Rivers is not a Hall of Famer.
I apologize, bro. I really do. I know.
Surprise, Mike. I
It's
thought
not
you
that.
loved Phillip
No,
Rivers,
it's
man.
not that. But to me, Phillip Rivers, this is exactly how I remember Phillip Rivers. He's going to throw a pick and lose this game. That's exactly how I remember Phillip Rivers. Me and my brother laugh about this all the time because my dad is the biggest Phillip Rivers fan in the world. Second to you.
I love.
So you're a narrative guy too.
What's up?
You're a narrative guy to an extent.
Oh, no.
You
I
remember,
watch.
well,
I
you
watch
remember
and
his
observe.
big moments, though.
I don't think he has any big moments.
Fair enough.
That's not
I'm
true.
Gonna. Listen.
He went into Indianapolis and took out the Colts. They were the number 1 seed.
He should- Was that-
They were their 2nd seed.
Yeah. Well,
They were ridiculous.
Well, here's a narrative. Peyton Manning's a choke artist. I don't believe that, but that's a narrative. So you could say he got an easier one. I mean, Peyton Manning, I think, holds the record for most losses as a 1 seed. Like, I don't.
Well, the first round exits, right?
No, I think he has the most playoff losses as a quarterback as the number 1 seed.
Wow. That's a stat for you. Jeez.
God.
How about you, Mike? What do you think?
So wait a minute.
So
real fast.
here-
Wait.
go ahead.
I apologize.
Still rocking?
He's just not in Mike's Hall of Fame. I apologize, man. I
hurts.
really do.
I'm hurt. I don't want to talk to him.
I'm upset.
How about you, Mike? What's your thoughts?
So I'll wrap this up pretty quickly for you guys, and this might surprise you.
Here we
The
go.
best of the 3, Phillip Rivers.
I love
Now,
it.
career.
I love it.
Listen, best player of the 3 was Phillip Rivers, and he is statistically leading both of them right now. Ben could pass him this year if he doesn't fall apart injury-wise. Career-wise, I would take Ben. He has the 2 rings and the stats that Eli is nowhere near. Is Rivers getting into the Hall of Fame? Yes. Is it going to be a close call? I think it probably will be. He did not have enough success, which is a real shame. It's like one of those things where, look, it's still a team. It's a team thing, but he just did not always have enough around him on both sides of the ball, quite frankly. I mean, you look at different parts of his career. It depends. It really all depends. And he fell in between a couple. It was like a rebuild almost a couple of times. He survived a few of those.
He got him to the rebuild.
Stop.
I wouldn't say that, Mike.
Stop.
Was he the quarterback during
Stop
the rebuild?
it.
That's shade, Mike.
Was he the quarterback during
Look,
the
when
rebuild?
that-
Simple
when
yes,
that-
simple no.
He was not the
he-
problem, though.
So look, the defense fell into a ditch.
Don't go there.
Right? The defense fell into a ditch after their big years and LT retired. The defense fell into a ditch. They were remodeling, let's say. They renovated and they finally got something. They still have injuries to this day, but they have a very balanced roster that could make some noise with Justin Herbert currently. And that started with Phillip Rivers overseeing the last, retooling.
Yeah, he gave him a couple more losing seasons before his departure.
He would have had a nice year this year.
Guy.
If he stayed there, he would have had a nice year, I'm sure.
Yeah, they would have been a comfortable 5-11. He would have got him. He would have got him a very high.
Shade,
you know what?
Nick.
You're right. He would have got him a very high draft pick.
That's major shade.
He would have got him a very high draft pick.
That's disrespectful.
It is.
I'll move on to save us from that. That is just disrespect.
I was just getting ready to go into a whole new topic on Phillip Rivers.
Disrespect.
I was getting ready to go into a whole new topic of a comparison of a player that most people probably say is not a Hall of Famer, but then say Phillip Rivers is. That name. I'm saving it. I'm not saying shit.
Save it. Big Ben, though, yeah, the playoff runs. He is probably going to pass Rivers, I believe. He'll just make it through enough games this season, and then maybe he'll retire or get forced out next year. So, give me Big Ben career-wise. He's getting into the Hall of Fame, not even a question. Eli, mediocre quarterback, guys. He had elite moments when it really mattered. And those playoff performances, I'm sorry, I hate saying this, but they were beyond clutch, and he was very good in the playoffs. There was some luck, but every team that wins the Super Bowl, there's always a lucky bounce somewhere along the way. That's just how it is. And the Patriots, I know, Nick, it hurts, but the Patriots have had a lot of lucky bounces also. So, I mean, look, mediocre quarterback, 500 quarterback. He had barely a 1.5 TD to INT ratio. I mean, that's mediocre to me. Especially, 60% completion percentage. That's mediocre. But guess what? I hate saying it. He's probably going to get in, guys.
I know
undeservedly, but he's probably getting in.
How do you judge him? That's
why?
what I'm saying. He's weird.
What makes you say that?
He had the longevity, enough seasons to put him over the top statistically with who is currently in the Hall of Fame, and then obviously had the success, which everyone remembers his playoff runs, and that's just how it's going to be remembered. 37 game-winning drives and 27 comebacks. That's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. That's right up there with Ben and Phillip Rivers.
So do you think that the New York market has an effect on that?
I actually don't.
I actually do.
Not much, maybe a little, but he's going to get in. This is his standing. This is not first ballot, but this is his standing with who's currently in and how I believe the voters will perceive him. I think he's getting in, and it kills me to say because he's mediocre.
Ben Roethlisberger holds 24 NFL records.
He's a stud.
He was awesome.
It's a shame. I actually think he's got a little bit of juice left, but there's no offensive line. So it goes out the window.
See, what makes Ben great is that he had to adjust during his career because he was a dual threat quarterback. He was throwing and running. But now, and then he got older and older. He had injuries and stuff. So then he became a pocket passer. So his greatness is definitely amongst all that.
Yeah.
It's
just the adjustment that he didn't make.
Indictment on him that he didn't win with Bell and Brown.
It's not.
Bro, they were loaded.
They're cancerous players.
They could have done more.
I'll give you that. They weren't in the beginning.
Except AB, though.
In the beginning, they weren't, dude.
AB with Brady, he's a different animal.
But in the beginning, AB and Bell weren't like that. It only got messy after year 3 or 4, but the first 2 years, they were together.
Well, they ran into Brady.
That's probably a good point, to be honest. Yeah. But it's they had a nice window where they could have
done more. I'll admit that, but still, the resume's there. 2 rings.
Yeah.
And one of the all-time greats. And
an iconic throw in that Super Bowl against the Cardinals.
He had plenty of moments.
Santonio Holmes. Oh, my God.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Thanks for watching that clip of the Psychotic and Iconic Sports Podcast. If you want to watch the full episode, it is available on our YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and also hit the notification bell to get updated when we drop new heat. Be sure to check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We will be releasing an episode every Friday at 8 a.m. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time at P&I.